Now, a perfect example of how this works, about when people feel they can't say what they think because others will judge them, is what's happened today with the NRL. Now, there was this statement from the heart, and just as it was with same-sex marriage, there is this pester power factor that starts to kick in, when essentially the diversity officer goes to the chief executive of the company, the organisation or the football code, and then turns around and eventually they all have to get into the same, get in behind the same woke cause. Now, I'm sorry, but I do not support the idea of another talk fest, a standing talk fest body, one that was based off race. It is a bizarre situation. When you look around the Senate, when you look around the cabinet table, there are Indigenous figures that are there. There should be an Indigenous Australian at one point who becomes Prime Minister. But I'll give you the tip. It's going to be very difficult for that to happen if you're the kid born with certain diseases in South Australia, if you are dying of diseases in North Queensland, or you're being abused in the Northern Territory. None of those three things are dealt with by a standing talk fest, an opportunity for everyone to sit in the absolute modernity that happened because of history 250 years ago, rather, while simultaneously pretending that that history shouldn't have happened. Once again, the NRL and their little corporate PR video pretending, and this is the game you see, is that they say all the fans, all the teams, all the players, all the administrators, we're all on board. Well, I'm sorry, I'm a footy fan. They did no survey, and this is how the left works. They say everyone's on board, and then when you say you're not, you're the one with the problem when they try to speak in your name. Roll the tape.
We represent the rugby league community.
From the grassroots
to the elite.
Collectively, we unite, excite and inspire communities all across Australia.
Together, we make this response to the Uluru Statement from the heart.
We walk together in a movement.
Of all Australian people for a better future.
We recognise the Uluru Statement from the heart
as an historic mandate to create a fuller expression of Australia's nationhood.
We support the call for the establishment of a First Nations voice enshrined in the Constitution.
And for a referendum to amend the Constitution accordingly.
This is how it works, isn't it, Pauline? Where in order to make it look like something becomes a fait accompli, the model was established with same-sex marriage, of which I support. But that was far more organic than what's happening here. The idea of changing the Constitution and elevating a standing body to have equal awareness as Parliament, but actually be powerless. They won't pass a bill, they won't pass a law. Instead, it'll be people who will sit there and give lovely, lovely speeches, but it does nothing for the kids that are being hurt right now.
You are so right, Paul, and I totally disagree with what they're aiming to do to give the Indigenous people a voice on the floor of Parliament. As you said, we have people that are elected who are Indigenous to the Parliament and are doing the job, and they're in ministerial positions. I don't believe in tokenism. I've actually, Peter Beattie, make up your mind, Peter. You had a go at politics. In Queens, a lot of people criticised you because you destroyed a lot of businesses here. You either choose whether you're going to run the NRL or you are actually going to get back into politics, stop sitting on the fence and pushing your own agenda, as what Joyce did with the same-sex marriage issue. The whole fact is that I actually went up to Bamaca and saw the Bamaca Council plus the Thursday Island councils, and I've met up with these people. And when I put to them about the census, now let me tell you this, the census of 1971 was around about 115,000 Indigenous people in Australia. By 2011, the last census, it was 649,000. So all people are getting on there and ticking the box to claim Aboriginality. When I told them there's no definition to Aboriginality, their jaws dropped. This was the councillors, the mayor and the deputy mayor from Bamaca. Their jaws dropped when I said there's no definition to Aboriginality. So they've been pushing for this, and the whole fact is they, in the preamble, they want to actually acknowledge in a referendum that the Indigenous people are the traditional owners of the land. I want people out there, you vote for this, then be prepared if we ever become a republic that we lose crown sovereignty of our land, that we have acknowledged they are the traditional owners of the land. Will we lose our our freehold land to our land? Will it be determined in the High Courts? There is problems with this. I'm sick of the tokenism. I'm sick of hearing it. And I said to these mayors and councillor, I said, I'm Indigenous. I was born here. This is my land. We will be treated equally. We will work towards all the problems and issues. But I said, I'm sick and tired of being classed as a second-grade citizen in my own country.
Well, help me out here, Michael Danby. What are we missing? Because you automatically know how this will be cast, right? Hard-hearted bastards on Sky News couldn't care less about Indigenous affairs. Not true. I have spent so much time on this program, and we've lost viewers doing it, talking about the reality of what exists and why we need to get on top of it and why tokenism doesn't fix anything.